points on the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a live, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming in on May 6, 2021, and retail has left the stock market. And I got 3 stacks that I'm looking at coming into tomorrow, but today was a very wild day. It looks like not much happened on the S&P, but the NASDAQ was really down in the morning, came back a little bit. We saw the market calm down, but overall, you got a really, really weird mix. And on top of that, if you pull it back on the 10-day, we are still within that tax plan range. It looks like we bounced up today, quickly fell back into yesterday's range, still below Powell and all of that. You did get earnings before hours and after hours, and the data was important, but you didn't really see too big of market reactions, and that's why we are saying retail has left the market, because young cryptocurrency is getting this spotlight, and we saw a lot of weird effects today. So we got a lot to talk about. I want to go over what happened in the market today, what we're looking at tomorrow, the rest of the week, the plays that we made, and we actually made quite a few plays, and you could tell by the plays that you got a little bit lack of activity today. Again, retail leaving, and we got to talk about the plays for tomorrow. So let us not delay. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes for open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free 99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/the stock market. You can post the plays, see the plays, watch the watch list come to life. And yes, if cryptic messages about crypto don't make you cry, then yeah, we're the place to be. And the most important thing you need to do, post your watch below. Let us know what you're looking at. Got any plays, comments, remixes, anything. Post them below and source that info. Shout out to Chad, baby. So right off the bat, like I said, today was a very weird day. It didn't seem like much happened in the morning, and it looked like we really didn't get that much news besides earnings. So the real question was, what really happened? And by the end of the day, this is just my theory. I think it has to do with money moving into crypto. I talked about this yesterday on the watch list. We said as Ethereum and the rest of the altcoins start to go up, that market cap and what it means for inflation, and even if you look at any of the commodities today, you saw something similar. So my assumption here is that a lot of that extra retail money, which we've seen this year have an impact, it looks like it kind of disappeared as a lot of attention was put on crypto, a lot of these cheaper cryptos, and a lot of the hype that's surrounding it. So tomorrow is going to be very interesting. We know what to look for on Friday. However, I think a lot of what we saw today was digestion from yesterday, as well as the earnings that we saw this morning. So you got a little bit of a bounce, and we sold that off like I showed you there at the beginning, but that was because the earnings this morning did not really talk about inflation as much, and then GM, which could have helped further point at supply chain issues with the chip makers and all that, they actually had really positive news saying that they have that secured. So that was kind of a bright spot. But now, tying this into today and the rest of the week, I really think that the comments that Yellen made yesterday, I think it has reached a point of no return. So she walked back those comments yesterday. Some of you asked what that meant. That is when a statement is made, and then the person who makes the statement kind of comes back, makes a correction or clarifies, saying, well, what I said and what you think I mean is not what I mean. What I said was not that. What I mean was this. That makes sense, right? But essentially, Yellen yesterday said something very scary about raising rates. She said, no. It wasn't a recommendation. That's not what I was saying. However, it seems like that kind of got dragged in here today, and now you're going to have the jobs report on Friday, and we'll see how that factors in, and we're going to get another opportunity to talk from her. So that's why I think the market's not too quick to be like, wait, hold on, and now we're back at those danger levels. But if it wasn't the money moving to crypto, I definitely think you saw something here, because all of the earnings, whether they were good or bad, people are looking at the data, but even if it was like a really good number, there's nothing really justifying a really big move. We have not really seen one this earnings. The only real moves that we've been seeing has been coming from policy, and then that's the next key here, because you saw this happen today, and this is what I said with the market being jumpy, and watch out for this, because there wasn't too much to watch this week. However, you've been noticing how policy has been coming back to life and affecting the market. The market chilled out after the first drop in the morning today, but then the next big drop came after we heard from the Biden administration, and then they even clarified on it, saying that they want to do this vaccine waiver with the World Trade Organization, pretty much allowing the intellectual property of any of the U.S. vaccines to be freely open and available so everybody could be able to use that. So a lot of the pharma companies dropped. The biotech ETF got killed. It's essentially removing the monopoly on an effective vaccine, more or less, which a lot of these companies on the market had. So that was a policy update, but you could see here in the market, we had the first drop. We came back up. There was a weird little halt today on the market. It wasn't an official halt, but a lot of people noticed that they didn't really see the S&P trade for a couple minutes here, and then things kind of chilled out, but this drop coincided there with the Biden announcement. Then we came right to the lows of the day and then bounced up, and then this is where we closed. So that is another example of policy that is important. You're seeing how Yellen has this impact, but now even looking at the liquidity in crypto, we could tie all that in, because once the earnings get out of the way, you're seeing how the market responds, and it looks like bigger, broader data. And then as it relates to policy, that is becoming more and more important as we get halfway through 2021, because now 2022 is just the same distance away. So people are really thinking about future guidance. Welcome to the stock market. So that being said, like we've talked about all week, like we brought up yesterday, even more today, we'll see how tomorrow plays out. But that jobs report on Friday is still going to be the bigger key. And then now, the bigger that you see crypto move, the slower you're probably going to see the market move until it gets bigger. If you do see crypto move fast and the market goes fast, then it could create a weird effect. However, thankfully, when you compare the GameStop situation to the crypto situation, you don't have a lot of hedge funds with a bunch of short exposure to crypto. So it's not creating that draining effect where people have to cover and it starts affecting things, because the short exposure and then the other risk on the other side of the trade, it doesn't really exist that much in terms of all of the crypto. So I'm going to keep my eye out for it. I know a lot of you get annoyed hearing it, but you're seeing a lot of these markets blend, and there is going to be opportunity at the very least. Don't underestimate the signals of crypto as it pertains to inflation, and you might be able to see something. So I hope you're ready, but that is pretty much it. So let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, I got 3 different stocks that I'm looking at tomorrow. One of them I didn't make a play on, but the first 2 I did. However, they both got interesting news, and I think it'll be interesting, and hopefully, given the fact that they have news, it could kind of detach itself from the market. And today, that lack of the retail traders, we really got to see the opportunity with option pricing, so keep that in mind. But as far as the first play, it's going to be Peloton. And remember, we talked about this news a month, 2 months ago, and it had to do with that treadmill and then the deaths, and now it has led to a recall today. They got the action, and Peloton even issued a statement. They're doing an automatic update on all of the treadmills, as well as sending out a voluntary recall with it. So it's very, very interesting. But now they also got hit with another hit piece. But the best part about all of this, or the part that makes it interesting, they are going to have earnings tomorrow. So we made a play today. It went up a couple 100%. It did very, very good. But at this point, it is still going to be a coin flip for the earnings. Essentially, even if they have a good earnings, if they could walk back some of the down day, they dropped 16% today, it could still go up, and it'll probably go up to where they were at today if they do good, if and only if they do good. However, if it does bad, it has already dropped a lot. It could drop further, but the point is, there was a play on the news. We played that. We benefited off that, but now tomorrow you're going to get the earnings, so that has the potential to change the trajectory, or at least change the timeline. It does show you that that news was bad. The market didn't like it, but now there's a lot more to it as far as trading and trading strategy behind it. So as far as the play that I made, you see here, it dropped very, very quickly. We got this one very, very fast. Within the first 28 minutes of the open, I grabbed one of the May 21st 65 puts. I paid 46 cents. I only got one, and the reason why I got it, because I even said it on the live stream. If you were watching or you want to go watch the recap, I said it reminds me of when Tesla back in the day got one of their first recalls. It really clapped the company. So it's definitely going to be a short-term headwind. You see how the market reacts, but it is a newer, more infant company. They're getting their first recall. It had an effect, but I said, well, we had an earlier play on it the first time. We were too early on the news. Those plays expired. I said, okay, I'll go in a little bit smaller, get one, got exposure, and that $40 ended up turning into about like $200. So you could have ghetto spreaded that play. You could have sold out. I'm just going to be holding it. We'll see coming into tomorrow and how it plays out. But that was a very interesting trade, and I like it in general. Again, you could even see here on the stream alert, the first alert of the news came in at like 9:57, and then you could see within a minute or two, we were able to confirm it. It was just the rumor. It was already down $4 or $5, but it had that first first drop, and then it really continued. Again, the market didn't like it. They even got like some price target and bounced a little bit, but then it still stayed down. So this is a good play, but the problem is going to be earnings. That's going to make things a little bit tricky, so we're going to be watching that. But that was the first play. As far as the second play, it's going to be Nordstrom's, JWN. So they had this acquisition rumor. Again, you probably saw that one on the stream alert as well. It was a back-to-back. A lot of things were happening. It popped big, and I actually like it because if you look how they moved today, but also over the last 100 days, even compared to retail, they kind of stalled out like they were waiting for something. But the problem and the thing I realized afterwards, Nordstrom's has gotten this rumor many times in the past. So this isn't really something new. I think given the state and how it's traded in some of the retail stock, it could hold a little bit more weight. But this rumor has been talked about years ago. I remember hearing this many times. So I don't know the weight that it has to it, but I will say this, I believe it more than the Amazon rumor split. So I think it's a little bit more credible, but you've seen how we played some of the buy the news, sell the rip type events. So got my plays on those. We'll see how it plays out. And this is what I'm talking about. Over the last 100 days, they haven't really moved. This looks like a company waiting for something. So good volume, good play in general. All the plays I think are up about 100%, or they may have dropped a little bit towards the end, but I grabbed a May 21st 55 call. I grabbed 4 of those for 15 cents, and then I went $5 closer. I got 5 of them. You see one got filled at 12, and then I got 5 of the 50 calls at 16 cents. Again, I saw the chains moving around, so I was like, hey, if I could get filled at the same price, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you can see based on the discrepancy here in the orders, what was going on. You were able to snake the chain today. There was just not that much attention. We called out the news. There's still people watching, but there's just a whole lot less zombies out there just running in, market ordering, buying everything. So it's creating a lot of these opportunities to be able to get in there and do something. So don't be too jumpy. It may not last forever, but we'll see how it keeps playing out. But that was the second play. I really like it, but again, it is tied to the rumor, so we'll see how that one plays out. And then as far as the last play, NVAX, I watched this one as the news came out. We called it out very early. We got to see it. You still could have made a play, but I was like, no, I don't want to force it. We had 2 good news plays. I said, all right, we'll keep it there. I don't want to push it. And they were a little bit more expensive, so I waited. But the idea and logic behind this one is just vaccine short play, just depending on the timeline of this WTO waiver. They were a big leader. They were a lot of growth. You've seen a lot of the vaccine companies shoot up, and they have a hard fall before they run up big again. So this could be a real threat to their profitability. I think it could be interesting, but I just want to make sure I get a good price. So this play, like today, if I could get it at a good deal, I'll take it. But if they're going to charge me a premium, I'll watch it, and good luck if anybody hits that one. So those are going to be the main plays. As far as everything else, watch that Peloton. Alexion was a positive pharma gainer. You could even see Abivi too. So not every pharma stock went down, and you did see a rotation after the biotech index got clapped. That's the XBI here. You can see it really got clobbered, and it's looking like ARC ETF, which is interesting considering a lot of the positive healthcare and drug news we've been seeing from the administration. So watch them. Watch CCL, and this is where it gets a little bit weird because they got news on being able to increase their chances, or like stage 2 of reopening. They get to do like a simulation thing as long as the whole crew is vaccinated or something, and then begin stage 2 of reopening, but it had a pop and came right down. So this one was very interesting because you thought it would have had more legs with a name like CCL, the reopening trade, all of that, but I just don't think retail was there to chump it up. Watch Netflix. It finally broke below that 500 level, and I think this is key. Again, like I showed you yesterday, a lot of stocks are breaking these levels. If they do that, that is not going to be good. I don't know if you'll be able to necessarily make a play because the question is everything going to line up, or do they break? How is it going to oscillate? But there's still a couple factors, but hopefully you could see the broader trend and be able to identify where some of the bigger weakness is coming from. So watch them. Watch XOM. They did good today. Oil had a draw, and XOM has been a leader, and this is even part of it. No coincidence, but oil is shooting up. But what is it shooting up with? Every other commodity in the world, and Bitcoin and Ethereum and Dogecoin and Ethereum. Did I say Ethereum? Yeah, I said Ethereum. Okay. So keep your eye out for oil in any of these plays, especially as it relates to anything inflation related, or as we get that job data or anything like that. But watch them. Watch Coinbase. They fell below, got absolutely demolished today. Again, it's only had 3 green days in its trading history. Essentially, the longer this continues, it becomes that much more appealable. I'm still down like 20-something%, about $5,000 on the initial $20,000 we put. So it could be worse, but still pretty bad. But keep your eye out for them. Again, NVAX, you can see the last couple days, even today, was very ugly. So watch them. Watch eBay. They were a winner. Some people were talking about their short interest. Again, you saw the Gary V NFT news. Got NFT news from eBay. So I like this one, but again, the premiums were not there. They're actually really expensive. So keep your eye out for that. Watch Uber. Very shocked on this one. They had a really good earnings report, but the stock did nothing, and now now it's down 7% on this. Watch how this plays out to tomorrow, but this is another one of those stocks hitting that level. You are now below 2021. So Uber is a little bit more attractive now, which is great, but we want to see what sort of effect this could create from here. So keep your eye out for that. Watch Arquite again, another earnings one and another drop killing the momentum. They did not do good at all, 12%. So I want to watch how this even factors into UWMC, and we will see how the market might digest some of their report here. But the biggest problem on their report and how it could relate to UWM, they beat on revenue and they matched on EPS, but their margins is what went down, and they're forecasting lower margins. Essentially, it's how much the company makes because they have to give a commission to all of their brokers. So naturally within this business, I think that's because they're competing with UMC. So depending on how UMC works, it doesn't mean UMC will have the same fate. However, it does show there is competition heating up. Either it's because of UMC or UMC suffers the same fate, and well, that's not going to be good unless something picks up here. So watch them. Watch Zoom. I did not add to this play again. I said I was watching it. The premiums didn't go up too much, but this one's breaking below. Watch the pace. It does it gradually, but if it does start picking up velocity, that's going to be key. And then finally, TLT's chilling out a little bit. It was a little better, did not do much, but again, our favorite man, the dollar, it's starting to move up. So again, you're now getting back to some of these levels. Anytime we really popped off from both of these levels, you saw a little bit of market volatility, but the dollar might be snitching here. If it gives an early signal in the morning, we might be able to see. But again, very interesting because you have the stock market doing something and then commodities as well. So this might be prone to going down if the market could get a little bit bullish, and then you see all the other inflation indicators run. So it's going to tell you something either way, but you got to keep your eye on for it. We don't want to be too jumpy. Better to be late than wrong, but we see a lot of the factors, and at the end of the day, policy seems to be the kicker, so keep your eye on that. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you to know what to keep and what to cut, baby. But the Cole loves you. I love you. I'm going to see you in the morning. Let's go.